It's HBR, All Things Considered, and I'm Dave Lawrence. This weekend, tomorrow on Maui at the Mac, and then Saturday north of Honolulu at Turtle Bay at the Wanderlust Oahu. Corinne Bailey Rae is going to be playing live. Gifted artist from Leeds in the United Kingdom. Had the opportunity to work with heavyweights like Herbie Hancock. Had remarkable experiences with Paul McCartney, Smokey Robinson. And we get to hear a little bit about it now as we welcome her to the show. Hey, Corinne.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Aloha. Good, thank you. Yourself?
Aloha. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I'm really good.
I understand it's your first shows in Hawaii. Have you been to the state otherwise?
No, I've never been to Hawaii.
Share for folks who are listening who you're bringing with you, and if you can, kind of describe the show.
There are going to be four of us on stage. There's going to be Steve Brown, who's playing keyboards and bass. His job is to do sort of magical, beautiful, mysterious work. And then we have a great guitarist who's a fantastic singer as well called John McCallum. And we have a really exciting drummer called Mikey Wilson. And we all play together. I've played with them for years. They were the bands that I used to play alongside when I worked in a jazz club in Leeds. And the show is a fully live show. There's no backing track. We're not playing to a click track. We're really responsive to what the audience wants. We see every show as being completely different to the next. And I love extending songs and, getting into the audience and call and response and all of that stuff.
Sounds like there's quite a bit of improvisation. Are you also saying that the set list changes night to night too?
Yeah, the set list changes, but even when we play the same songs in the same order, those songs themselves will be different, longer or shorter, or we might play longer choruses, or we might do a whole new section. And we like to just respond to the atmosphere. You know, I think a show's so special, it's a one-off. You never get the same thing twice. And you never have all those same people in the same space again. So I like to try and respond to that.
I wonder if some of that improv that you're talking about, which almost sounds sort of like the way the Grateful Dead might have approached their set list, is it influenced by the fact that you kind of liked a lot of that classic 70s music where that was a more common tactic?
Yeah, it's definitely influenced by that, and definitely influenced by jazz as well. It might be how the people are acting on the front row, or it might be how the room works, or where the bar is, or if people are dressed up, or whatever the atmosphere is. But you can really feel it. You know, all we have to do as a band is kind of ride that, and that's what I love so much about it. And I love those 70s bands where everything's more loose. I don't want it ever to feel like a set performance as though you're going to kind of theatre show. Or going to watch a musical or something.
You were very influenced by Lenny Kravitz, who I see you have live dates with coming up soon. Have you ever worked with him or told him what an influence he was in your life?
I've never worked with him, but I'm definitely looking forward to telling him that. I have met him once before, but it was kind of a quick encounter, so I didn't have time to say, you're such a huge influence on me. But for me, playing music and being in a space that was more of a sort of rock space, but it was soulful as well. And then seeing an icon like that who was black and multiple ethnicities, he's black and Jewish and white, and I just loved this kind of mixture of identities which I related to because of my background. And I loved that it was soulful, but it was really influenced by Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, and you could really rock out to it. And, I loved seeing like Cindy Blackman, who was, a woman playing drums. That was a really influential look and scene for me, and the fact that he had these dreadlocks. It was very counter the sort of mainstream of the time when it came to the UK. I was a real fan of his, especially those first sort of 3 or 4 or 5 records. I really kept in touch with those, and I'm so looking forward to doing those shows with him, and especially I'm looking forward to meeting him.
You mentioned the Beatles. You played and recorded at Abbey Road. Any cool stories?
Abbey Road was such a lucky connection because there was a really close connection with EMI Records, that was the label I was first signed to. And it was amazing to, walk across that crosswalk at Abbey Road and in that space. George Martin's son, Giles Martin, was around at the time because he was preparing the music for the Love Cirque du Soleil show. Later on, I got to meet Paul McCartney when he performed at the White House when he was being honored with the Library of Congress medal. I was able to be there, and I performed Blackbird, one of his songs, with Herbie Hancock, and in the rehearsal I was there playing, and I opened my eyes and he was just sat there, on the front row tapping his feet, and it was mind-blowing to see him there. And he's a legend and a very kind and sweet guy, and I think Abbey Road was another good place to be inspired.
And before we wrap it up, you have some other remarkable stories, Corinne, and you mentioned playing at the White House, which is not a lot of cats get to do that, and there you are doing it and honoring Paul, and you're doing it with Herbie Hancock. You also honored Smokey Robinson at his Library of Congress Gershwin Prize Award.
Yes. Yeah, that was so incredible, and it was great to hear Smokey talk about Motown and how both he and Berry Gordy set that label up together. But Smokey's such an interesting character, and he paints a picture of himself as walking around town as a teenager with this book full of 500 or 1,000 songs that he had written on him at all times, just in case he bumped into the right person to help him. I love the way that he has applied his skills and told his story and brought that really sort of romantic, vulnerable edge to his music. So yeah, that was incredible to perform in front of him. These are memories, that'll stay with me my whole life. That feeling of getting approval from people who I've idolized all my life.
That must have been part of the picture as you got to collaborate with Herbie, right? Getting to be on River, the Joni letters.
It was Herbie's idea for me to be on River, yeah, which just blows my mind. There were so many musicians that really encouraged me, and Herbie was definitely one of them. I've played with him quite a lot of times on stage, in New York, in Paris, and Los Angeles, and every time I play with Herbie and with Wayne Shorter, I just feel like my skill level just, rises up. It's like you're sort of caught up in their updraft or something, So I've been really lucky to sort of be pulled up in that a few times, and I look forward to the next time if I'm lucky again to get to perform with them.
Well, we'll go out on that song, actually. We'll get into the updraft with you.
That sounds good.
Corinne Bailey Rae, and from Leeds, UK, joining us here in the Aloha State for this pair of dates coming up on Maui and here north of Honolulu. Hope you had fun today. I really do appreciate this.
Thank you. It's been really nice to talk to you.